Hi. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Someone actually emailed me and said, because it's Friday, does this mean that the birthday celebrations stop? And the answer is no, because my birthday isn't until Tuesday. And so I'm actually going to keep these celebrations going all throughout next week. So there's still going to be education. There's still going to be live streams teaching you about all kinds of things that you guys have been posting about that you want to learn about. There's still going to be contests. There's still going to be giveaways, right? There's still going to be specials and all kinds of things happening. So just because it's Friday does not mean that because the week is ending that the birthday celebration is ending. It's actually like I wanted to start the celebration early this week and then see it through on the actual week. So anyway, today, guys, we're talking about sales because when I put that poll in the group, the one thing that happened was that like they rose to the top, that one of your biggest frustrations, one of the biggest areas that you struggle with is sales, getting clients, converting clients, all kinds of things, right? I kind of lumped them all together in the poll, but that option jumps to the top. Hi, Jen. Hi, hello. So I thought I would talk about that today. I know it's a Friday. I don't know how many people are going to log on, but I'm just going to talk and talk and talk and talk because sales is very, very important for your business. Obviously, you can't have a business if you don't make you guys have heard this a couple of times, right? If you don't have a profit, then you're not really a business. I think like, don't take this as legal advice, but the IRS gives you like 3 years or something like that. Hi, Kathy. And if you haven't made a profit, at least here in the United States, after like 3 years, you can't call yourself a business anymore and take all these deductions, right? So sales are important, yet sales are like the one thing nobody ever wants to do. I was meeting with a client today. I had a half-day intensive today with a different client, and she was talking to me about these products that she sells, and she's like, well, how do I tell people about them without sounding, salesy, like I'm selling? And I get this question all the time, right? And there's a huge part of sales about that's mindset that we're going to go into today. But again, I ask, do you think that the directors and heads of the sales division at Target or Walmart or any of these companies, even government contracting companies, and you just insert a restaurant or whatever, do you think that they're like, gosh, do you think people are going to be like upset if we actually tell them that we sell something? Of course not. So why are we? Right? Why are we so afraid? So if you're hopping on, please say hi. CTV, please say hello. And let me know kind of like, what do you not like about sales? Because that's what drew people to this topic. That's what made it number one. So like, what is it? You guys can see my kitchen today. This is my background, my kitchen. So what is it about sales that you guys don't like? Right? And maybe you love it. Tell me what you love about sales. And if you're watching on replay, please answer. But what we're going to talk about today are kind of like things that sales really is. Like what is sales really? What is sales not? What is kind of the bigger picture of a sales process? What is or a client or customer acquisition process? What is something that you can do immediately that should be able to bring more potential clients and customers into your world and into your life? We're going to talk about, I wrote all kinds of notes today, right? We're just going to talk about a lot. And you know me, I'm a big mindset person. So mindset, but this topic I saved till the end because in that poll, this was number one by far. But when you are watching on replay, right? Oh, hi, Katie. Hello. So Katie's here. She can answer a lot of questions too, because Katie is like a sales guru. But because this rose to the top, right? Because you can't have a business without sales. You just can't. You can't be scared of sales or the concept of sales or selling. You have to embrace this and make it your friend, right? Yesterday I said list. We talked about building your email list and nurturing your email list. And I said list wasn't a dirty word. Well, sales is also really not a dirty word, okay? Sales has to be like your best friend, okay? For you to have a business. Oh, hi, Julie. Hi, I see a lot of people coming on. Okay, good. So we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. You know me, I've been showing you guys, right? I wrote lots of notes today based on what you guys have been talking about, but I don't really have a structure. There's just more like ideas that I wrote down. So I'm really going to be guided by you on this. I need you guys to share with me, like, where specifically, when you say sales, where specifically is it that you are having a problem? A lot of times, the action, we were talking yesterday or in the productivity video the other day about taking the wrong actions, that we're not getting results we want. When we really dig down, it's because we're not taking the right actions. And sales was an area where this came up, where maybe your problem, your challenge, your frustration isn't getting leads. Okay, we're gonna define some terms here too, right? Maybe it's in getting prospects, and maybe it's closing the sale, right? Well, a lot of times if your problem is closing the sale, but the actions that you're taking are geared towards getting more prospects, right? You're not solving a problem. You're taking actions that in no way are going to solve the problem of closing a sale. Yeah, you're just getting more and more of sales you're not going to close. If your problem is, if once you have a prospect, you can convert them to a client, right? Then, and you can close a deal, right? And your problem is getting the prospects, but you're focused on, well, how do I overcome objections, and how do I, you're like focusing on the wrong things. So it's really important for you to dig deep when you say, I don't like sales, or I'm not great at sales, or I'm not getting the results that I want from sales, that you tell me what you really mean by sales. Because oftentimes we're using the word to kind of capture a bigger process, but the process itself isn't all sales. It's like a combination of marketing, and it's a combination of branding, and it's a combination, there's like a big combination of stuff that's happening. Right, so I wanted to find some terms for you to start, and feel free at any time to like ask any question, right? So when we're when we're dealing with sales, there are a couple of different stages and things that happen, right? For the most part, this is high level, guys. This is a Facebook Live, not a class, right? You have what are called leads, right? So what is a lead? A lead is like a human being. Okay, well, a lead is like a little more vetted than an average human being, okay? But a lead is simply that. It's just kind of like a human being that you've kind of vetted in like the tiniest, littlest way, or that you have this inkling, right, that they're a little more qualified for you than just an average person walking down the street. Okay, so maybe you happen to know they're in your target market, or maybe you went to this event where they were interested in a topic, or so there's just a low level kind of like, all right, this is somebody who might want my stuff, right? That is a lead. What we do with leads, guys, is we turn them into prospects, okay? So at the prospect stage, what that is it's kind of like the building up the trust in you. Okay, so the prospect is what, back in my date coaching days, I would call this the dating phase, okay? A prospect is somebody who's like kind of dating you. They're feeling you out. They're trying to figure out if they like what you offer. Are you a good fit for them? Do you have what they need, right? Like, are you just a friend, or do you get what they need, right? Like, they're dating you. They're figuring it out. We're going to talk about all the different ways you nurture and foster these different kind of points, right, in an overall cycle. But it's important that you see that there are leads, and then leads become prospects, right? They're getting more qualified. You know, some are leaving, ghosting you, and others are sticking around and staying, right? So you're vetting them. You're getting like more clear on how, you know, on the level of trust and all of that, right? You're letting them know, I'm here for you, baby, right? I'm here for you. And you do that in all kinds of ways we're going to talk about, right? Through newsletters and just all kinds of stuff. So from there, then you get onto a sales conversation, right? Whatever you call that, a sales call, a clarity call, a strategy session, a jump start, a breakthrough, whatever you call it, right? That would be the next part. The next part, oh, hi, Lorraine, hi. I believe a lead needs to be qualified by being in your target. People who are actually qualified to buy your stuff, right? Like, yeah, there's some level of qualification right? But a prospect is where they're really getting qualified. So you have a lead, then you have a prospect, and then, right, you get on a sales call with your prospect. And I'm going to tell you what's happening at each of these stages, right? Then from a sales call, you convert them into a client, right? But here's the thing, the sales process, a sale is actually right there, okay? You're on a sales call, they say yes, right? And you get the money, and the money is in the bank, okay? A sale has happened, right? But the sales process, like to me, technically, a sale does not end there, okay? So what happens is after you've got the money, you have to deliver the service, or you have to deliver the product. And for me there, a sale doesn't even end there. Okay, a sale goes further until they get the result that they want. And that's in the customer service area. And I think a lot of people drop the ball in that area of kind of the cycle. To me, a sale does not end until the person has gotten the result that they purchased your service and your product for, right? Or at least had the opportunity to make that happen, right? And I think that that's more customer service part of the cycle, and we're not going to go into that today. But anyway, these were kind of like the terms of art, right? So you have the lead, you have a prospect, you have a sales call, it converts into a client, and then you kind of deliver the service, and then there's some results, right? So that's kind of like the overview of that. The sale actually happens at that moment that they hand you money, right? That's a sale. So it's important that you know that. And so it's important also that, you know, is my problem really converting the sale? Or is my problem generating good prospects, right? Is my problem in getting qualified people, or is my problem taking leads and converting them into prospects, right? That's different too. So when you're watching this, please tell me, like in the comments, where you struggle. Do you struggle with getting prospects? Do you struggle with getting prospects on the phone? Do you struggle to the sales call? Do you struggle once you're on the sales call to convert them to clients? Completely different problems that require different actions to solve them, okay? What you're doing at those stages, just real quickly before I get into kind of some more of the nitty gritty, right? What you're doing at those stages is like, at the prospect stage, like I said, that's building up the trust, right? You're dating them. You're also seeing, are they a good match? You're trying to figure out, it's equally important, is this a potential good match for you? But they're really, at this stage, looking at you more than you're looking at them and doing the same for you. But then on a sales call, right, what's happening on a sales call is this conversation where you are also seeing if they're a good fit. Now, if they're just buying a product off your website, right, that's not going to be the same. Obviously, there's a little tweak, but if you're talking to them on the phone, you're seeing if they are a good fit for you, if the problems that they have, if your product or service can solve them. You're listening. You're doing a lot of listening on a sales call for what they want, right? What it is that they're looking for and what they want. You are explaining why your product is right for them, okay? So the benefits that they're going to get from your product or service, and you need to be very specific with that, right? With the benefits, what they're going to get, right? And then you are connecting, right? You're connecting with them, and that's what happens. And then the sales part of that, okay, the sales part of that is that you don't have a client or a customer till you have the money. Can we just agree with that, right? Too often I get clients who are like, oh my goodness, I got a call and I'm so excited and we've talked and she said she's gonna sign up. She's gonna sign up. I'm so excited I have a client. I'm like, but you don't have a client yet. and while I think it's great that she says she's gonna sign up, we're not celebrating that as a client yet until she's actually signed up and until she is actually remitted the money, right? Because a sale is that transaction, is that I have become your client or customer because I have given you dollars. I have given you dollars and you have taken my money and now I'm going to get a thing. Okay, that's the sale. So those are the things that are going on at all of the different points, right? And I gave a infographic out the other day, and I'll post it again here in the comments, called the buyer cycle. And it goes into detail about the journey that a buyer takes, right? From becoming aware of you, to considering you, to purchasing from you, to then getting the delivery, the product, the service, what needs to be happening there, all the way to becoming brand advocates for you. And in this infographic that I'll post, this is great to accompany this talk, because it talks about the ways you foster those stages and what you should be doing, what your activities should be doing to connect with the results that you're wanting from that. What you want to have happen at the awareness stage is not the same thing that you want to have happen at the consideration phase, which is not the same thing that you want to have happen at the purchase stage, which is not the same thing you want to have happen at the delivery, which is not the same thing you want to have happen, right, in that customer service loyalty. So you need to know, am I taking the right actions in the right point? The infographic that I give you will help you do that, right? So it'll go along with what we've talked about all these terms and what you're doing, right? Do you guys know what people are really buying when they're buying? So Lorraine says, I don't convert as much as I should. I'm about 3 for 10. My husband is 8 for 10. I do better in converting face-to-face than on the phone. And like, that's important to know, right, what our strengths are. I think that if we read too far into our stories, like, I'm not good at this, I can't do that, I'm not good on the phone, we make that a reality. Right, there's some truth to that, but it is also really important to know where you thrive and where you shine, and how you do better, right, when you are converting. So that's great, Lorraine. Thank you for sharing that. Do you guys know what people are really buying at the end of the day? Does anybody want to answer? Like, what is it? Yeah, you sell a service. Yeah, you sell a product. That's great. Here's the thing, right? Unless you have something super unique, there are a million people who, I'm not saying that there are a million people who do what you do. There are a million people who sell what you sell, right? Who offer what you offer, right? How many business coaches are there out there, right? Tons. How many people are selling Mary Kay? Tons. How many people sell coffee mugs? Tons, right? Based on the number I have in my house, like tons. So they're people, right? So at the end of the day, the reason they buy from you is because of you, but specifically because of the experience and the way that that experience makes them feel. Okay, so that's why they're buying from you, because of the experience that they had along that buyer cycle that we're talking about, and the way that it made them feel is what ultimately leads them to click and purchase, or to say yes on the phone, or to do whatever to give you the money to say yes. So it's very important, if you have not looked at that buyer cycle infographic, to really study it. If you have questions about it, please post it here, right? But that's what people are buying. So when you're just focused on, well, I have a service and I have a product, and here are the logistics about it, and here's what it does, you're really missing out on the psychology of sales and why people buy and what people are looking for, the different stages, and what needs to happen. Hi, Alex. Hello. Alex is like, yeah, solutions to their problems, and you, and transformation, right? They're looking for that experience, they're looking for a feeling when they ultimately buy from you, whether you're selling doggy poop bags or you're selling, you know, I don't know, I'm just picking up random things in front of me, straws, or you're selling coaching, right? That's what they're looking for. So yeah, that's that's kind of like the beginning, right? Like, I'm looking at all, I mean, I've got so much I want to talk to you guys about today, but I know I can't go into it all, right? I think that it's important that you understand that mindset is a crucial piece of sales, and that I cannot talk about the right actions to take to convert better clients, or to convert more calls into clients, or to get more leads to become prospects, or to nurture more prospects into a call. Like, I can't talk about those actions without mentioning a lot about mindset, because mindset is everything when it comes to sales. That's why I asked, how do you feel about sales? Like, when I say the word sales, like my client today that was like, how do I mention my product without selling, without sounding salesy, right? How do you guys feel about selling? I would love to know. I would love for you guys to type it. Like, does it make you warm and fuzzy? Does it? Some people say, I love it. It makes me so excited. I can't get enough of it. Other people are like, I dread it. You know, so your feelings, your thoughts and your feelings are very important in terms of what results you're going to get in your business. And again, we know you need clients, you need customers, you need money in order to have a business. So I would love to know, how do you guys feel, right? And I know that there's a lag. Again, I keep forgetting there's a lag between when I'm talking and when you guys actually get it and get to hear it. So while I'm waiting for those answers to come in, right, what I'm going to say is that, okay, not that sales is a bad word. It's not. Sales is more effective when you start the entire process that we were talking about, the buyer cycle as a whole, from a place of service. And oftentimes when we flip our perspective on sales and what it is, we have a better experience with it, right? So for example, you know, I mention these big stores all the time. They're not worried if you look at a commercial and realize that they're selling an item, right? That's the whole point. They want you to come buy the item. They're letting you know very, very clearly that there's a possibility for you to go in and buy this thing and change your life, right? A doctor, dentist, right? Same thing. Let's say you go to a dentist and you're, I don't know, haven't had much work done. I always pick like the examples that I have absolutely no experience with. It's the weirdest thing. But let's say that you go to the dentist and you have like a bad tooth and they have to get rid of the, you know, you're having a pain and there's a solution for the pain. They have a pill. You don't even have to get a tooth pulled. They have a pill, and if you swallow the pill, the pain will go away. So the dentist is looking in your mouth, and he's like, oh, yeah, like, I totally see this pain. I understand it. And yes, there's a solution to that. And yes, I mean, there's a pill, and I have the pill. And then he turns around and he leaves and he walks out of the room, right? It's like, what, you're sitting there begging, like, can you please like sell me the pill? I would love to have the pill. How do I buy this pill, right? Because I need this pain to stop. Well, some people don't even let the person know that they have the pill. They're just like, oh yeah, totally see the pain. I totally understand that. Yep. Some people are like, yeah, I see it. Yep. There's a solution for it. Yep. But they don't let the person know that they have the solution. And then they're not letting the person know that there's a way to buy the solution, right? Don't be the dentist that leaves the person in pain in the dental chair, right? That's what you're doing when you're not making an offer, when you're not letting people know that you have a solution to a problem that they have. They're searching for a solution. They want it, right? And you have it. And if you don't give it to them or let them know that there's an opportunity that, you know, that it exists, first of all, or an opportunity for them to buy it, you are leaving them in the dental chair in a lot of pain, right? That's not very nice, right? So Alex says, I've learned selling is serving. Yes, so we're getting to that, right? Which makes me love it more. Selling is okay if you do it and you're being in integrity, right? Absolutely. I like to look at sales as service. I lead with service, service-based sales, right? And service doesn't mean just giving away stuff for free, although giving value is very important, right? And we're going to talk about that too. But when you look at sales as you're doing it's like the dentist, again, he's providing a service. He's helping you get out of pain. He's helping you get a result that you want, right? He's providing a service, right? So are you. Whether you sell a product or you sell a service, you are providing a service. Right? You are doing a service. You are doing something good. You are doing good things for people. Why would you want to keep that secret? And why would you not want to let them know that something that they're looking for is right there in front of them, right? What we often do is we think that we are forcing people to have to buy the thing just by letting them know it exists. So what we do in that instance, kind of like my client today who was like, oh, you know, like, I don't feel good about sale. Like, I don't like to do that, right? Is we don't. If we start like thinking, oh, that person's not going to want my thing. Oh, they're not going to, what did I use as an example? Go back to the straw. Right? Like, I have a straw and I'm going to sell them this straw, but I don't think they want to hear about the straw. I'm pretty sure they don't want to buy the straw. They don't want to know about it. Like, that's not a thing for them. They don't really want the straw, right? what I've just done is disempowered a person. I've taken away their ability to make a decision. My entire value, one of my core values is empowerment, right? To allow other people to have the power to take the actions and live the life that they want and make the choices that they want. And when I make the decision for them, right, I disempower them. And it's important for you to see that. If you're not making that offer, you have just taken away somebody's ability to make a choice. And what that comes out in the energy is like, you don't trust that person because you don't trust them to make the right choice for them, right? So I just want you guys to see like all of these different little pieces of mindset that are really important for you to address before you ever start doing action, right? Taking action with sales. I used to work at Container Store. I don't know if anybody knows that. Like back when I was a lawyer, my office was at SAIC, was right next to the Container Store in Tyson's. And I loved the Container Store. I mean, I really loved it. And it seemed like people were having a really great time working at Container Store. And I decided to get a part-time job at Container Store, mainly for the discount, because it was a really good discount when you work at Container Store. And it was really fun to work there. I had a really great time. So I worked at Container Store. I will say the Container Store gives you some of the best sales training you can ever get, ever. Their philosophies around sales, they're a top company for a reason, right? So I was lucky. This is back when I was a lawyer, right? I got all of the sales training and everything. But here was Rita doing Alpha. I don't know if you guys know that. It's like closet design, right? They put me in closet design for a while. And a person would come in and I would project onto them my feelings around money, my feelings around sales, my feelings around closets, my feelings around all of it combined, right? And what I mean by that is somebody would come to me and say, hey, Rita, can you design a closet, right? Can you design a closet for me? And I would say, sure. And they're telling me what features they want. And I would design down, right? So I would, because to me, I wasn't going to pay back then $10,000 for a custom closet, right? Like I thought that was ridiculous, right? But Rita, young Rita, kind of lots of student loan debt, lots of, you know, was not going to pay $10,000 for a closet. For a closet. So I was looking, and I thought people wanted a value. Like I thought people wanted to save money because that's what Rita wanted. Right, was to save money. So I took all of my thoughts and feelings and values and judgments and all this stuff and projected it all over the people that were coming to me, right? And I remember designing this closet. And I designed this closet, and at the end of it, I had every feature that they wanted in it. It wasn't a luxury closet. I had every feature though that they wanted. And I said, and I was able to do it for only $780 or whatever it was. And they were like, wow, you know, okay, we came in here prepared to spend about $10,000, right? But we'll take that. We'll take it. I mean, it does what you need. I mean, nobody's really going to see our clock, right? Like I totally, and so then what I did is took away their ability to have the closet they really wanted. So they went home with this closet that they didn't really want, and they wanted the nice luxurious closet, right? But here they are tempted by like Rita's wonderful $780 version of it. And guess what happens, right? They end up getting home and not liking it. Now, I don't know if they ever returned it. I don't know what happened, right? But chances are they probably weren't happy with it, right? And so now, not only did designing down and not giving them all the options and the offer and like doing all of that, like it actually impacted maybe their life and like the way that they felt when they got home, right? I did that because of my own thoughts. Now, those weren't their thoughts. It's not what they were thinking about sales or closets or anything, right? But I just assumed it. And it's much easier, right, to give all of the options that you think are really going to help that person, like at the highest level, from design to color to whatever, right? And then you can always remove and take things away and take things down, right? But it's much more difficult when you design at the low and then try to add things on, right? Then people get resistance. So I just want you to see the importance of mindset through that story about what I did to those poor people that probably went home with a closet at Container Store that they were not very happy with, right? So your mindset has to be on point when it comes to sales. When it comes to sales, you have to do the work so that you have a healthy relationship with the entire process, with what you're doing, with coming at it from the right way, with being in integrity with it, right? Your thoughts and your language and your actions all have to be in alignment, or you're simply not going to get the results you want. And Alex says, that's deep. You've taken away their power to make a choice. Yeah. We do it all the time. I'm not going to ask them if they want to coach with me. I just took away their power to make a choice, right? I absolutely just took a power away from them. Who am I to do that to somebody, right? All I'm doing is informing people that options exist. That's all I'm doing. I'm letting people know an option exists for you. Here's what it looks like, and here's how you can get it, right? That's all I'm doing. And that's what people who are having a challenge or want a result, they want to know that these options exist. What's wrong with doing that, right? So we'll go back to what Lorraine said at the beginning, which is like, yeah, when you're just in a room full of human beings who haven't in some way been vetted, right, you're going to feel a little bad sometimes about talking to them about your product because you haven't built relationships with them yet, right? Remember, that's what's happening in the prospecting phase. That's the dating phase. You're building some relationship over some period of time. Now, we can't go into detail in that in this Facebook Live, right? But that's what you're doing, right? So if you skip that phase, right, you're trying to get to the marriage without the dating, right? You're trying to get the sale without the dating phase, and it just doesn't work very well, and it feels really bad, like it would in real life if you talk to a person, right? And online, this happens online a lot, guys, right? So when you're online, I would like for you to do what you would do in a room full of human beings and people. You would not go into a room and not knowing anybody and walk in and say, I have a pen, and this pen is $10. And do you want to buy my pen? It's the best pen in the world. And then just start throwing pens at people, right? And then like turn and run out of the room, right? And that's what we do online. I have this thing, and it's this much money, and I don't know any of you, and I haven't built a relationship with any of you, and all I'm doing is telling you about this pen, and I'm posting it here, and I'm posting it here, and then I'm disappearing. I'm not even around for you to talk to me anymore, right? Like, don't do that, guys, right? So that relationship part is really important, but you won't foster the right kind of relationship. You won't be able to get a prospect on the phone or to convert the call if you have all of this gunk in your mind when it comes to sales, okay? So if mindset is something that holds you up, I have a lot of like little tips and resources and all. Please comment below, please message me, say, Rita, I really need some help in the mindset department when it comes to my money mindset, when it comes to my relationship with money, when it comes to kind of clearing the decks and really loving sales and being able to see sales from a place of service, right? Let me know. In fact, we go into that in detail in the Take Bold Action, Get Big Results group coaching program, which everybody knows by now is open for registration, right? All of these topics I'm talking about all week long, we go into in the program, but through action, where you're actually implementing things and doing them in your business. Somebody asked me this earlier, and so it's a good time to answer this. They said, but is this like a foundational program for people who are brand new to business? And I would say this is better suited for people who have been working in their business but not getting the results that they want. So they understand a lot of, you know, the different components of a business, but now they're wanting to make it better, more effective, more efficient, fine-tune things, fine-tune processes, take bolder actions, get bigger results. So they're working their business, they're getting results, but they're not getting the results that they want. So that's who this program is for. But anyway, so the mindset is a big piece, right, before we get into some of this stuff. Now, how many of you have read the book, The Science of Getting Rich by good old Wallace Wattles? Has anybody read that book? Informing people options exist. Yes, Alex, absolutely. Hi, Chris. Hello, welcome. Yeah, as a lover, don't skip the dating phase, right? It's not going to work, or you're not going to be happy, right? You're going to be like the people that went home with a closet they didn't like and didn't know what to say, right? They thought they'd like it, and then they didn't like it, right? How many of you have read that book? If you haven't, I highly, highly suggest that you read the book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. It's open, it's like public domain because it's so old that they've lost the copyright on it, and it's just, you can Google it and find it. It's kind of, you know, it's old. So there's a lot of old language in it, right? And it's a little woo-woo. There's some woo-woo concepts, but if you can't tell, right, what I'm saying is woo-woo is actually science and mindset and brain and energetic matches and energy and all of this stuff that becomes very important for sales, okay? Very, very important. And in that book, he talks about the impression of increase. Do you guys know what the impression of increase is? And it's a very real thing. And it's very important when it comes to the service or the product that you're offering and the whole sales thing. Do you guys know what the impression of increase is? Just say yes or no. in the comments so I can see and know like a Y or an N. I see that a good number of people are watching. So I know this is a big topic when people don't like talking about, right? And it's okay, right? I'm not saying that any of you are not selling or that you're not doing good, right? But we can always improve. We can always do better. And sales is an important area to keep growing in, right? It just is. So yes, no, impression of increase. Anybody? 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 Okay. So the impression of increase is people are always looking for more, period. People, including yourself. So that's important to know. People are always looking for more money, more health, more sleep, more whatever. People are looking for more, right? They're just constantly, psychologically, they're looking for more. So what you're selling to at all times is that thought process, right? More. Like, think about it. You guys have clients, you want more. You have sales, you want more. You have some free time in your schedule, you want more. You have good friends, you want more. Or maybe you just want more quality with the friends you've got, or you want like more coffee or more makeup or more options or more, right? Even when people are minimalists and they're minimizing, it's so they get more of something else, right? So they say, I'm a minimizer. I live, maybe you do with like tangible objects, but you're doing it so you have more of something inside of you, more confidence, more, I don't know, security, more spontaneity, more, like we're always looking for something more. Okay, do you guys see that? Like, yes, no? Comments from the peanut gallery? Anybody, right? That's the impression of increase, and it's important to understand it when you're selling, right? When you're selling. But for it to work, for you to utilize that impression of increase to your benefit, it is not enough for you to just convince others that you can give them more. Okay? So a lot of times with sales, what we're doing is we are convincing that person that we have what they need. Right? We can give them the results that they want. We can give them more of what they want more of. We can give them X, we can give them Y, we can give them Z, right? We're trying to convince them of that, right? Through our marketing, through our sales, through whatever. We're trying to do that, right? But that's not enough. That's a part of it. The next part, though, is that you must embody that yourself. Okay? You must embody the more yourself. So I wrote a post on this. If you have not read it, in Women's Business Grid, I'm going to bump it so you guys can read it. So it'll go up to the top of the group when we're done. And it basically started like, I am so tired of hearing the phrase, oh, you know, the cobbler has no shoes, or the cobbler's kids have no shoes, from business owners who are justifying the fact that they haven't gotten or developed or done in their own business or self what they're selling to other people. Right? So it's like a business coach or a productivity coach who says, I can get your schedule under control and help you focus on what matters and help you define your priorities, and their schedule is out of control and they don't have time for anything that they want, and they're not, you know, whatever. Or like a self-care coach that's like, it's so important, Rita, that you prioritize yourself, and yet like they're the last one on their list, right? I mean, we see it all the time, like a social media manager who is getting people hundreds of thousands of followers but has like 5 of their own, and the excuse is always, but I'm so busy doing it for my clients, right? Or doing it for my customers, or providing this to my clients and customers, that I don't have time to do it for myself, right? Well, that hurts your entire sales process, right? So for this impression of increase, for sales as a whole, for all of this to work, the mindset, everything, because you will not develop the mindset if you're out of alignment like this. You must embody that with which you are telling other people they need to have in their life. So if you're not getting the results that you want with sales, I want you to ask yourself, right? How well am I doing that for me? How well am I living this in my life, right? If you're telling people how to go have fun dating and you're like, I'm not gonna date, right? Or like, if you're telling people, no, there are wonderful people out there, because remember guys, I used to be a dating coach, right? So if you're out there telling people like, oh no, like you need to just have fun dating and unattach from why you meet somebody. This is all true. You need to have fun dating. You need to unattach from why you're meeting someone. There's no such thing as a bad date, right? This is a little dating advice in here, right? And it works for networking too. There's no such thing as a bad date. Every person that crosses your path you meet for a reason. You just have to find out why It could be they have information you need, or you have information they need, or they treat you badly. And when they treat you badly, they teach you about something that you don't like and you don't want to tolerate, or about a boundary you're not good at enforcing, or a boundary you want to start enforcing, or something you want to find in someone, or someone you don't want to find. And so that you get clearer, right? You get some clarity. Maybe you've impacted their life in a way and you don't even know it. Maybe you changed their life and they felt confident that night. Now they want to go date and they find the love of their life, right? You never know that it was because of you, right? Like there's always a reason why. So unattach from the outcome, right? Unattach from the outcome. And we're going to talk about that in sales too. Right? So you have to kind of like, but you can't be telling people to do that as a dating coach and then you are super attached to the outcome of your dates. You can't be like, oh man, if we didn't click romantically, that's just terrible, right? So for sales to work, you guys, you have to embody the impression of increase in your own life, okay? So Karen's like, so true. That's a first red flag for me. If they aren't leading by example and whatever your thing is, then I'm immediately turned off. Right? And I get it. It can be but this is where good schedule management comes in. And so when you prioritize this in your life, when you are living the thing, right? When you are showcasing it, and you don't do it by bragging, right? It's not like, oh, see, like I talk about free schedule and flexibility, and here I am traveling all over the world. You just do it. Right? So instead of being like, look at me in front of my big beach mansion house that I'm able to afford because I charge all of this money and I have all these clients, which isn't a bad thing, right? Just go live your life, right? That's what I mean by it. It's like, go live your life, go embody the principles that yourself, right? That's very important. So that's what you create advancement in your life. That's what you're showing people. I advance my own life. Right? In all kinds of ways, not just through what I say, in all kinds of ways. And when you do that, right? So the impression of increase is about how you are being and how you are feeling and how that is spilling out into the world. Okay, that's what they mean by energy matters in sales. So there's a lot more to that. If you guys are like, Rita, I need to learn more about this, like message me, comment, right? But I want you to understand that that's a first place to start with sales. It's kind of like, how well am I doing this in my life in general? And how well am I just living my life in general? Because when you are advancing your own life in a variety of ways, you will attract all kinds of wonderful energy and people back to you, right? And that abundance. Here's the thing though, guys. Here's the thing. It's not delusion, okay? There's a fine line between this like happy mindset and delusion, okay? So what I'm not saying is to be like, oh, well, Rita told me to just, I'm telling people to buy what they want when they want it. So I'm just gonna go buy what I want when I want it and just hope it all works out. That's delusion, right? You have to add action to that. And I make it work out. And chances are that's what you're telling people, right? Like I tell people, prioritize your choices. Don't let money dictate your choices. You wouldn't let a person dictate your choices. Don't let money dictate your choices. Make your choices first, but then work out the money second, which requires action, right? It requires action. So mindset is important, right? So you hear this whole like, I said this on video 1, right? I kind of have the mindset that it's abundance is there, it's all around, it's going to work out, right? I'm launching a program, I've had some people register, I still have, a goal that I need to reach, I've got 2 weeks, like I've got these spots open, and the right people are going to come, it's just going to come, right? But I'm not just being delusional saying, oh, I opened a program and now the people are just going to come because I'm out here advancing my life, right? It's like, no, I still have to take action, right? I still have to do things to let people know that an option exists to take care of a problem or to produce a result in our life, right? That's if you think about it in the dentist example I gave you guys, that's your moral obligation to do that, right? Okay, so those are kind of some of like the mindset things, right? The mindset things when it comes. So with sales though, I talked about the sales conversation. And what I want you guys to see is that sales is about listening. It's about listening and getting to know this prospect on the phone and getting to know what matters to them and getting to understand what they're looking for and seeing if what you offer is a good fit. It's about learning about them. It's about understanding them, and it's about letting them know if you have an option that works for them, right? The marketing phase of all of that too, right, to get prospects is giving value. So you hear educational based marketing, right? So you need to give value. I say give 2 favors before you ever ask for one. I think it's Gary Vee that wrote a book about like give, get, something like that, like jab, 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 hook, jab, jab, slap. Something about hitting people. I don't know, but the idea is give, get, right? That's the concept. You give, and then you get. Don't think about sales as a transaction, right? The actual transaction happens when somebody processes a credit card or gives you money, right? I want you to think more of this as an exchange of value, right? So here's like another thing, that energy and the energet, like an exchange of value, right? You are providing them with information and whatever, right? And they are giving you their time and listening. Like when someone's on a call with you, they're on a call with you because they wanted to talk to you about the thing, right? And they are giving you something and you are giving them something. Like sales is an exchange of value, right? And so all this mindset stuff, I mean, I know I haven't given many actions and I'm going to talk about some stuff, but like that's because those are just the little tiny little pieces, right? All of this stuff is so important. So here's what I don't want you to do. How many people love their sales calls? Bye, Lorraine. Bye. How many people love their sales calls? How many people just love them? How many people dread them? How many people feel awkward on them? How many people love it up until the point that they have to ask for the sale, right? Like at what point of your sales conversation do you start freaking out, or do you stop enjoying it? Is it before you ever get on the call? Is it on the call at a certain point? Like you have to know, you have to pinpoint that part, right? For a lot of people, it's asking for the sale, but for a lot of people, it's also kind of just really not liking having to, I had somebody say, oh, I hate it because it's like I'm having to convince these people, right, that I'm like a good solution. And so when it comes to your sales calls, a piece of advice that I'll give you is I want you to stop treating your sales calls like you're tap dancing on the stage. Okay, you don't have to tap dance. You're not there to put on a show and make them go, wow, this is a great show and I really need more. That's not what a sales call is for. Remember, I talked about what a sales call is for at the beginning of this. A sales call is to listen. A sales call is to find out about them. A sales call is to understand what really matters to them. A sales call is about explaining if your option can give them the benefits that they want, how that happens. And your responsibility is to connect, which means being present, right? Not being distracted, not being present on the call, right? What it's not is you, if you're a coach, it's not you actually coaching the problem, right? In fact, I think that when you have a coaching call as like a sales call, you're opening up a bag of worms or whatever, can of worms, a bag of something. You're opening up something stinky that you're not going to have time to make all pretty, right? So now they're just walking away with like a big open bag of garbage. And they don't know what to do with it, right? So like, because you kind of make things worse, not better when you do that, right? So it's not my job on my call to convince my client that I am a good coach for them, a good coach, right? I have to maybe let them know if I'm the fit for them, but I don't have to convince them that I'm a good coach. So my mindset is that they already know that. That's why they're on the phone with me. That's why they want to talk to me, right? We've gone through the prospect phase. We've dated. Now we're through the dating. They want to have a call with me, right? So they already know what they need to know about me. This is just to see if what I have is a good fit for them, right? So I'm not having to convince them of my value, which is what I mean by tap dancing on stage. I don't have to be like, see, I know what ideal clients are, and see, I know what market research is, and see, let me tell you all about it, and let me tell you how to do it so you really know that I know my stuff, and let me like just give you all of this information, right? That's not what a sales call is about, right? Like that kind of does the opposite, has the opposite effect, right? So all you're doing is listening to them, acknowledging them, and saying, I have a solution for you. Let me explain how it will give you the results that you want. Is that a solution that you're looking for? I would like to give you the solution. Would you like to take it? Right, that's it. I think that a lot of the was very similar to when I was a dating coach. So people said, I hate speed dating, Rita. I hate speed dating because all I do is sit there and tell the same thing to 12 people over and over and over and over again. And I said, well, then you're doing it wrong. You're doing speed dating wrong. You shouldn't be talking about you at all, right? You already know everything there is to know about you. You're not trying to date you. right? Like, you know all about you. You need to be asking about them. And when you ask them questions, each conversation is different because their answers are all going to be different. So then you're not bored and you're excited and it's good and it's fun, right? Yes, speed dating is going to be boring if you're making it all about you and talking all about you and repeating the same stuff. Well, a sales call is also going to feel the same way. And when you're trying to convince people that you know what you're doing, right, then that's putting you in that energy of being really frustrated and being really and feeling exhausted by a sales call, right? If somebody messages me because they're not getting clients, I'm going to talk them through what might be holding them up for clients. And then I'm going to say, yes, I work with my clients to do X, Y, and Z. And here's what doing X, Y, and Z will bring about in your life. It will help you get more clients. It will help you feel more confident in your sales. Does that sound like what you want to work on, right? Would you like to work with me as your coach? I would love to be, I would love to have you as my client, right? I'm not solving the problem and trying to convince them that I know they already have gone through the dating phase. So when you're doing that, it's usually because you didn't go through that dating phase. You just found a person and got them on the phone, and now you're trying to do the whole dating phase and everything all at once, right? And you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling worn out, right? So that's my tip for you for the actual sales call. Now, in the Take Bold Action, Get Big Results program, you will structure a process, a sales call process, a pre-process, an on the sales call process, and a post-sales call process, and you will implement it and you will be doing it, right? You will be out there taking leads and turning them into prospects and getting prospects on the phone and going through the phone calls and getting clients and all of that, right? That's all. So that's a lot more detail than I can do in a 1 hour Facebook Live, right? But what I did want to talk about again is, what is a lead? What is a prospect? What is a sales call? When do I have a client? When does the sale actually happen? When does the sale actually end? How does the buyer cycle fit into this? What is it? What are the and again, I'm going to share that buyer cycle so you guys know. What are the actions that I need to be taking at different stages of the buyer cycle, right, to nurture that correct relationship? Because again, that's what this is. It's a relationship. You are meeting someone, you are learning about them, you are learning them, right? You are talking to them and communicating with them about them, which is why if your webpage is full of hi, I'm Rita, and I care about you, and I do this, and here is what I do as your coach, and I love to do this, and at Rita Goodrow Coaching, we, blah, 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 blah. It should be you. You're tired, you're frustrated, you want more clients, you want to get more consistent clients, you want more consistent cash, you want more free time, you're working all the time, you, right? It's about them, right? So that's the next part of it. So we know what all the different phases are. We know what you need to be doing at a buyer cycle to nurture the relationship, because it's about them. You're wanting to get to know them so they can get to know you, because it's an even energy exchange. And that's what relationship building is. And that's really what sales is, so that you can give them value. You can serve them, which is what you're doing, like the doctor analogy and all. So then you're tightening up your mindset so you're not projecting all of your stuff like the Container Store story I told you, right? And actually disempowering them and impacting them in a negative way, right? You don't want to do that. You understand what people are really buying, so what you really need to be focused on during that time. You know what the impression of increase is and how it's your obligation now to go embody that yourself, right? And that will all help make sales tighter. Now, the actual logistics, the actual structure, actual scripts and templates, and I don't even like sales scripts or templates, but like what you really should be doing, feeling comfortable with sales, all that. So here's my birthday gift. Guys, you know what? At the end of every live stream, I've been giving away a birthday gift. For the first 5 people who say, I want it, in the comments, I will do a sales call with you, meaning I will run through a sales call with you as if you were selling me, right? As if I was on a sales call with you to buy your product, to buy your service, to buy whatever, right? We will run through it, and then I will help you refine and like tighten up and like address some things about your sales call and answer 1 or 2 questions about everything leading up to a sales call and a post call, right? So we will do that. We will have like a little mini sales call session, review session, whatever. So if you want that, make sure that you're one of the first 5 to say, I want that. As long as you respond, right, by the end of the month, that's when my birthday celebration ends, right? You'll get it. So that's my birthday gift. I can't do it for everybody, but I think I can fit 5 in over the next like month to do that. So if you want that, That's my birthday gift to you to help you, right? Talk about the buyer cycle, talk about these sales cycles, and really dig in to your sales call so I can give you some critiques and some reviews and help you tighten that up. So yeah, so that's it, right? And right, if you kind of want to go into everything that's involved, right, about the marketing to get prospects, right, to know how to go into a room of leads and turn them into prospects. If you want to get prospects on the sales call, if you want to convert and you even want to know what conversion means and how to track your conversion and all of that, right? But if you want to convert more calls, if you want to do that customer service portion where they're becoming your brand advocates, and if you want, that's all in the Take Bold Action, Get Big Results program, right? So again, look into that. That is capped because that program, while it's not for beginners, it's for people who have been in business, who really want to refine and tighten and get more clients, get more consistent cash, you know, have more freedom, and really have some processes and procedures and take some action, some bolder action to get bigger results, right? I cap that because there are hot seat coaching sessions every week. Where everybody can dial in. There is individual contact with me every single day for 90 days. You are working on one goal a week based on one lesson a week and breaking that down into small actions, and I'm reviewing each one and I'm helping you implement and I'm talking to you. So there's a lot of high touch with me on this. So I have to cap the number of participants. So make sure you look at that if you are interested in that. Thank you, Karen. I thought it was a good gift. I thought it was fun. I love giving away these birthday gifts, guys. Like, I'm having so much fun with it. Like, so if you don't know what all my other gifts are, there's a pinned post at the top of the group. There are a couple of pinned posts. One of them is the list of all the birthday gifts I've given away this week. So check it out because there are a lot of good things in there. Does anybody have any questions, right? We talked about a lot today with sales, right? As much as I could in an hour-long Facebook Live. I think I hit the most important points, right? The rest is all just individual. I need to talk to you. I would need to learn about your business to help you kind of with some of the details and implementing and all of this, right? But the concepts are there. You guys know the concepts. So anybody have any questions? If you're watching on replay and you have a question, put it below, right? If you're on the fence and you're thinking, I don't know, is Take Bold Action the right program for me? Message me, let me know. I've gotten on the phone already with 2 people who were unsure, right? And I helped them get to a clear decision, yes or no, right? Whichever one's the right one for you. I want to help you get there. It's a fun program. And I do fun things like this throughout the whole program. But anyway, that's it for sales, guys, for today, right? Like, it was a high-level overview. Sales is a meaty topic. You know, sales is a portion of what I do. There are some really wonderful sales coaches in the Women's Business Garden group too. But I definitely help people with kind of how this fits into a bigger process. So look in the comments for a link to the buyer cycle. Right, watch this replay a couple of times. Ask yourself about the impression of increase and how well you're doing and some of these other questions in here. You know, write it out, answer the questions that I asked and posed in here. Get that book, right? Get the book, The Science of, in fact, oh my God, here's a second gift because I own that book. So if you comment below with one thing that you're gonna do differently as a result of watching this, you will be entered to win the book, The Science of Getting Rich, by Wallace Wattles. There you go. So my birthday gifts from this are the first 5 people to say, I want to get a actual kind of like, you get to take me through your sales call, and we will have a strategy session around that. I will give you some immediately implementable practical advice to help you there. And then the second is, if you write down one thing in the comments that you're going to do differently as a result of this video, I will enter you to win the book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. And yeah, that's it. Check out the program. Have a great weekend, although I will be in here all the time talking to you guys because the party's not going to stop till next week. And put your questions in the comments. And that's all, guys. All right, take care. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.